Hello everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Classroom. We'd like to give a special welcome to students and teachers at Wesleyan Christian Academy, right down the road from us here at High Point University. Today's video is made especially for you all. As we take a look right over your elementary school, there are a few notable objects in our night sky that we can see. The first being Orion the Hunter and his bright, but slightly dimmer now, shoulder, the star Betelgeuse. And a little bit to the right, we can see Venus, still very bright in the sky. And so when we take a look up at the night sky, we can see plenty of stars. But more often than not, we do not see all the comets that are whizzing through our solar system. So if we turn on the labels for all of these comets, we're able to see that there are actually quite a few out there, although a lot of them are very far away. A comet is a large ball of frozen gas, dust, and rock. They are made up of some of the same stuff our stars and planets are. The icy ball at the center is called the nucleus and is about the size of a small town. This center part is then surrounded by a cloud of dust and gas that is called the coma. The coma forms when a comet gets close to the sun, melting some of that ice and boiling off the dust and gases to create a large cloud. This makes the comet grow in size and can be larger than most planets. But once it travels away from the sun again, the coma gets smaller and collapses away, just leaving the nucleus again. Comets live pretty far from the center of our solar system, and they are mainly located in two different groups, the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. The Kuiper belt is a ring that is pretty flat like a disk that is made up of icy bodies outside the orbit of Neptune. One of the most famous objects that lives here is Pluto. Most of the regularly occurring comets that have relatively small orbits come from this region, meaning it takes less than 200 years to complete one orbit. Therefore, these comets can become predictable, and science can figure out when this comet will come by us again. One of the most famous reoccurring comets is Halleys Comet, which comes around almost every 76 years. The Oort cloud is where there are a lot of long-period comets. The Oort cloud is like a thick bubble made up of more than 1 trillion icy pieces of space debris, and they could be up to the size of a mountain or even larger, that surround the rest of our solar system. And so if an object gets knocked out of this bubble, it can take about 100,000 years for it to go around the sun. When comets come close to the sun, part of the dust cloud around the comet, this coma, is lit up by the sun. And the solar wind blows this dust and gas away from the sun, causing the comet to have a bright tail, or actually two tails. One tail is made up of gas, which is a blue color, and the other is made up of the dust, which is more white. The blue tail is a thin, straight line that points directly away from the sun, whereas the dust tail is much wider and brighter, and it only generally points away from the sun, meaning it can be curved. The length of the tail depends on a lot of things, but one of them being how close the comet is to the sun. And a typical tail can be as long as a few 100,000 miles. Most comets pass by the sun from a safe distance away, such as with Halleys Comet, which comes no closer than 55 million miles to the sun. However, there are some comets that come too close to the sun, and they are called sun grazers. And they either crash straight into the sun, or they get so close that they break up and evaporate. Comets have often been named after the person that discovered it, such as Halley or Hale-Bopp, or named by the group that discovered it, such as Oumuamua. But these days, most comets are found by Linear, the Lincoln Near-Earth Asteroid Research Project. And so the International Astronomical Union developed a naming guideline that comets are named after the discoverer that found it, whether it is a person or a spacecraft. And since spacecrafts have become very efficient at finding comets, there are a lot of comets with Linear, Soho, or Wise in their names. And so going back, let's talk about one of the most famous comets, which is Halley's Comet. This comet was named for the English astronomer Edmund Halley, who said that comet sightings in 1531, 1607, and 1682 were actually all the same comet returning again and again. And he then predicted the comet will appear again in 1758 or 1759, which it did. And so Halley's Comet is about 9.3 miles long and 5 miles wide, and it is one of the least reflective objects in our solar system. What is also interesting about this comet is that it orbits in the opposite direction of the Earth, making it appear to move backwards around the Sun, which is unusual for a short-period comet. The last time Halley passed by the Earth in its orbit was in 1986, and so we can expect the comet to return again in 2062. So when all you elementary students are in your 50s, be sure to look into the night sky for another appearance of Halley's Comet. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, keep looking up.